Good morning, everybody. It's daylight. Metaphor intended. I had a dream last night. Can't quite recall all of the details. I felt myself going down the wrong path in my dream. Whatever that means. Chasing something that wasn't me at the deepest level. A faceless woman appeared in this misty, white, gray gown. And she guided me away from that thing that was pulling at me. And she brought me back to me. She guided me back into the mountains. And in the dream, after I got that message, I pulled out my knife, cut those dress pants into shorts. Very short. No. Cut the dress pants into shorts. Untucked the shirt, cut off the sleeves, strapped on my backpack, and was back off into the forest, into the mountains, on another adventure. What the hell am I looking for out there? It's not so much that I'm looking for something. It's that, something feels like something is calling to me. I just answer to it. I have no idea where this is going at times. Life. I bet a lot of you can relate to that. Isn't that the core element of this human experience that we've all forgotten? So last I was out here a couple of nights ago, I was carrying some pain with me that I chose to step into myself and take a closer look at. The attempt there is to make the unconscious conscious. And once you shine a light on something, you retrieve it, bring it to the surface, you see it. And once you see it, it becomes an object you can work with. I was talking to you, I was talking to the nothingness, I was talking to myself. So that was intended to be a little snapshot of what this process looks like to me. I feel more me today. Back to my center, grounded, remembering that I'm on this path of adventure, of exploration. I think what I brought to the woods the other night was a symptom of what something in ancient Christianity, in its esoteric form, had termed the dark night of the soul. This term seems to be getting kicked around a bit with some degree of increasing popularity. So what is it? It's kind of like wandering the desert. You're disoriented. You don't have your bearings. You're in a situation where the only thing you have to rely on to get through it is whatever you've constructed within yourself, right around that core, right around that inner self, that place that connects with that prima materia. The dark night of the soul, the night sea journey, the descent into the underworld, It's all terms for the same thing. You're going into your own dark waters, your own unconsciousness. If done successfully, you rise to the surface of those waters and exit the waters back again on dry land, known territory. But now your map is expanded. There is a rebirth aspect to this. There's a lot of things we can talk about in terms of what that means. We can take a look at what I consider the best kept secret in history, something called the Eleusinian mysteries in ancient Greece. We can talk about karmic cycles. We can talk about heuristics and stadial development. We can talk about what it means to die before you die. The pain fractionates you, and you as the observer takes a look at those pieces, sorts them, and reassembles them. Sort of like Osiris. There's a necessary loneliness that you encounter on that journey to know yourself. I think what happens is a lot of people enter into that state of loneliness and they're afraid to walk into it, to lean in. And so they quickly try to quiet that feeling of loneliness and isolation by filling themselves, filling their time. Generally speaking, people will do anything to avoid confronting themselves, to put a band-aid on that loneliness, make it go away. But there is something on the other side of it. So leaning into my own feelings of loneliness and isolation has been a theme that I've been following for a bit now, with varying degrees of success. It's not all negative. You know, it feels that way, especially to the ego, which needs that sense of comfort and security. But I'm not looking for comfort and security. I'm looking to figure out what this mystery is. Figure out why. Once you start on that path, there's really no turning back. You see the world differently. You know, nothing that exists at the surface is real anymore. What's real is how it reflects something inside of you. There's a connection between your own perception and the objective world that you call reality, that's seemingly outside of you. That is not to say that I can just think something and I can make it appear. Doesn't mean that I can program and control the outer world. It's a lot more nuanced than that. What you see on the inside is what you see on the outside. And that's much more true the deeper you go beneath that surface of things. Thank you. Feel great today. It's the Saturday after Thanksgiving. And this air feels so great to breathe in. I feel present. I love this time of year, the transition. I love the winter ahead. So who am I and what the hell am I doing here on YouTube? Guess that's a video that I've been waiting to get to. I have a studio in the works that is gonna be ready to rock in about a week. What am I gonna do in the studio? I don't know. Whatever comes out of me naturally. Got a bookshelf filled with books that have changed my life. I have a stockpile of writings. I've got my guitar. I've got a whiteboard. I think I have some fun and hopefully useful stuff to show you guys. What I like about this choice to get on YouTube is I don't feel like I'm being motivated to succeed at this so I can find an excuse to quit my day job or make more money or even get attention. And connecting with an audience, there's something of value in that, but most fundamentally, what's leading me into this venture of starting a YouTube channel is a mystery to me. Something that's always been whispering to me. It's a holistic answer in a sense, because it allows me to combine so many parts of myself that I've been discovering and that have been unfolding naturally. It lets me sew them together and put them out there. I have no idea what this could become, if anything. But something deep inside me has said yes to it. And I tend to be one of those all in or all out kind of people. If my heart's in this, then I know I'm on the right track, and I know that I'm going to continue to put this out there, make these videos. Been working on this short story over the years. It's the story about a young boy following a path in the forest and encountering some darkness, transcending that darkness and becoming the hero. Pretty cookie cutter mythological story of the hero's journey, which I think today we can safely package the narrative of the hero's journey, and we can, call it an aspect of depth psychology, getting a little more sciencey with our categorizations. So I'll tell you a little bit about how that hike at dusk a couple of nights back finished up after I cut off the GoPro and decided to go into myself a bit without distraction. Overcast night, get dark pretty quick. I wasn't too deep out here, but it was still about a good 30 minutes, and I didn't want to be stuck too long in the dark because we do got a lot of coyotes out here at night. So I also ate an edible. That'll make the darkness scary. So I wanted to get out of the woods. So I am in my own head, putting one foot in front of the other, and I felt my body separate from my mind. So my legs were kind of on autopilot, and my mind was completely focused. It was interesting because, prior to that on the walk, think my thoughts and feelings were a bit scattered. With a focused mind, I was able to relax. Like, yeah, I'm walking quick to get out. Everything is scarier on edibles, but I was completely at peace with it until the incident occurred. So I'm walking. We're actually going to pass the exact spot on the trail where this happened. All right, let's speed this up. So the reason why I brought up that story of the boy in the forest I was writing was because one of the first scenes in that story, you don't know why the boy is in the forest. He's walking at night on this long, straight, dark path, but at night. And he's kind of in his own head, but then suddenly he hears a crack. So the boy hears a crack off trail in the dark tree line. And he draws his sword, spins around, takes down the enemy. Swift reaction. Then he sees that what he thought was a threat was just a tree limb hanging over the trail. So I'm walking last night and I am completely in the zone. It's getting dark really fast at this point. My legs are moving forward. And suddenly, just off trail, I hear the dead tree limbs, the brush, rustling loudly, like a large animal is feet away from me on the trail. So I turn to it, completely fixated on the area, looking into the dark. So I spun around and went to confront whatever was rustling in the tree line. And I just let out this kind of primal howl loudly. Then I realized that there was no monster, there was no bear, there was no Sasquatch. My ponytail just got snagged up on a tree limb that was hanging over the path, which was connected to a tree, and I shook the whole damn thing. I thought that was an interesting moment because I'd never turned to growl at some perceived threat in the woods before. That's pretty peaceful out here normally. But I liked that I did that. You know, that came from my soul. And that was a reflection of my soul's choice to stand and confront the unknown. It's like saying yes to that call for adventure. It means that I had done what I had set out to do on that walk, which was find my center, come back to myself, remember my strength. I'm going to turn the camera off and actually enjoy some more time alone out here. It's a great day. After this, I'm going to hit up the rock gym, make an omelet. I have tomatoes and onions that I have to use up. Hang out with the dog, And then I think there's something I'd like to read you guys. So I'll see you then. So I'm gonna read what I journaled a couple of nights ago when I was walking through what we can call the dark night of the soul, which once again is a period of disorientation that necessarily comes before you group yourself back together and rebuild yourself into something updated. It can be difficult to approach, but you gotta feel your way through it. That's how you figure yourself out. So I'm just gonna read it just so I can show you what my process is. So I actually wrote this journal entry between that hike at night and the hike that I took this morning on the same trail. Parting of the sensory. Sitting in a CVS parking lot near home, feeling lonely. This feeling isn't new to me. I've often felt unseen. I've learned in recent years how this experience of loneliness is par for the course as it applies to the path. I haven't written in a while. It's the time to reconnect. Connect with what's inside of me. Reflecting back, I've only written sporadically over the past 5 years. Maybe this is the time. Volume 2. Amos, the hero boy in the forest. His next chapter 2. Last I left off with his story. The phoenix was leading him to the mythical gates. I can feel him. He was in the forest with me that night, when I was walking in the dark, alone, on that long straight path. Suddenly, the brittle cold brush along the trail began to shake, only feet from me. I turned to it and howled at the unseen threat. Then, nothing. I untangle the overlying branch from my bunned hair. A threat minimized becomes new ground. I am merging with him. He is my Phaedrus, my Philemon, my shadow. Recent changes. Single. The kind you choose to be, for you. To enter into the mystery. The universe has visibly aided me in this process. It was never abandonment. It was God, or the universe, or myself, speaking to me. My time is here, the present moment, as my fingers tell the pen to capture my thoughts. Am I the thoughts? No. The one who watches the thoughts, perhaps. Yes. So then I talk for a minute about the changes I feel like I've been going through this month. Actually, I had a lot of good things to write down. Becoming a YouTuber was part of that. So I'm writing down what my month has been like. That's kind of the map. I'm writing down what I'm feeling inside. That's kind of like my compass. So I'm reorienting myself. And back to the last thing that I wrote. I've also done all of this completely sober. No alcohol, no poison. Spiritual poison. At least that's what I view it as. It took me, though, to my own depths. Showed me them anyway. The real treasure in my depths was extracted through the experience that followed putting it down, however. I'm 37. I'm alive. This life is a beautiful mystery. I'm becoming whole. I'm coming home.